Welcome to the Journey to Your Best Self podcast, brought to you by Your One Self. As always, I'm your host, Brian O'Neill. And as always, my co-host is Andrew Moshokumu. Together, we'll explore the transformative journey of self-discovery and holistic integration. Our purpose is to provide ancient wisdom and evidence-based methods, allowing you to merge your mind, body, and spirit into a harmonious whole. Alongside us today, we are blessed to have Tara O'Neill, a clinical hypnotherapist, certified life coach, and yoga instructor. Let's dive in and embark on this journey together. Hello, and welcome to the debut episode of Journey to Your Best Self. I'm Brian O'Neill, your host, as always, and I'm thrilled to embark on this transformative journey with you today. We know that life in the modern world can be very overwhelming, and that's exactly what we're here to help out with. You're tuning in here because you're ready to discover a deeper sense of balance, purpose, and fulfillment without having to quit your job and travel around the world. With me, as always, I hope, or as often as we can get her, is Tara O'Neill, clinical hypnotherapist, life coach, yoga instructor. Hello, Tara.
Hello. I am Tara O'Neill, and I'm thrilled to be here. Together, we're going to share the tools and insights that we've gathered so our viewers and listeners don't have to spend years doing the work that we have. Our goal is to help you become more aware on your journey to enlightenment, to self-realization, self-actualization, what have you. We're here to bring you the ancient wisdom, the mysticism, and incorporate it into your everyday modern life. And so please join us on this journey. We are thrilled to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the great things that people will soon find out is the ancient part of things, the mystic part of things, can seem daunting and overwhelming, but we're going to have done that on our own, and then break it down into bite size, really digestible, easily clear, cogent, very easy to comprehend segments, right? So there's going to be something for everyone, and whether it's really comprehensive and profound and complex, we're going to translate it down so that regular folk such as myself are going to be able to get a ton out of it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of wonderful content out there, and sometimes it can be confusing or even misleading, and we will break down the jargon, the practices, and we'll give you the best of both worlds, right? A little of the ancient wisdom, a little of the magic, along with science supported, evidence backed practices with a little spin of our own experiential practices and what we do in our everyday life to live in the modern world, but also have this empowering lifestyle where we can conquer the stressors of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking from experience, just balancing a busy life can be overwhelming, without now having to add a program or podcast experience to that. But we feel rightly so that so much of the insights and the practices and the tools that we're going to provide are going to kind of increase people's awareness in the mind, body, and spirit, the three pillars, so that their other 23 and a half hours of the day they're going to utilize those more and appreciate those more, making this journey, so to speak, with us absolutely well worth it. And it's going to be a way that we're going to be able to help people, I think, personally. And my co-host often, Andrew, can definitely attest to this. People that kind of have been spinning their wheels a bit, or trapped in the rat race per se, or maybe have achieved a lot in the mind or body or spirit area of their life, and still have the desire or this constant nagging that there's more, they're not fulfilled. So I think that we're going to be able to definitely um, provide a lot for a lot of different people.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're climbing the ladder of Maslow's hierarchy of needs in our modern world. I mean, we are
Definitely.
so fortunate to have our basic needs. Most of us have our basic needs met, right? And we have access to a lot of information, and we're ready for the next level of more joy, more peace, more awareness, and more love in our life. But we're finding it like a little bit hard and sometimes mismatched. What our values are don't align with the external world, and so we're going to teach you how to come into alignment with that, right? So most people have inherently good values, whether they've identified them or not. And some of the reason for the disconnect is because what's going on in our world via media or the government, or we tend to see the most challenging parts of humanity on a regular basis. And one thing
Yes.
I'll often say is your subconscious is always listening, so it is creating more of a mental struggle, which in turn is going to manifest in our life as a little overwhelm or chaos or confusion or frustration. And so we're going to give you the tools and support you with the consistency, all while expanding your awareness and guiding you through the awakening process that all of humanity is going through.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true, because we all know people, and we've gone through it, or many of us have gone through those moments of questioning where maybe from a surface level, objective perspective, we should be happy with our situation personally, as an individual, our family, our career, our country, but subjectively, we're not at that place of contentment, right? And there is something that's a bit off kilter, off track, not aligned with where we want to be going, and the ups and downs of that nagging feeling, or that reoccurring sense that something is incomplete or missing. It can really take a toll on you, and you know life's too short to have to deal with that if you don't have to, right? So, well, this life's too short, I should say.
Yes,
um
we'll definitely get into some of them, little esoteric dabbling here and there, exploring evolution in this realm and others.
so do you want to talk about some of the highlights that we have planned, for this first wave? I mean, I know you like to call it a season. This first, what can people expect with the first offerings that we're going to throw on Spotify and YouTube? What are some of the highlights or episodes that you're most looking forward to?
Yeah, excellent question. So, well, we want to give our viewers a solid foundation, and we want to keep with the theme of the holistic model of mind, body, and spirit. And so, one thing that this where we may differ is we see the interconnectedness of all parts of ourself, right? And we want to, in our modern world, it's very reductionist, and so it's like, well, I need to have my podcast for exercise, and this one for mental, and this one for my nervous system support. And here we're going to give you tools that allow you to work on and incorporate all aspects of yourself and your personal growth. And so literally the journey to your best self. So we're going to talk about your nervous system often, and that's going to be regulating, through fight or flight, rest and digest. We're going to bring you some easy 5-minute tools for stress relief. We're going to bring you mastering mindful eating, morning rituals, nighttime rituals, things that you can do throughout your day. So we're giving you really tangible, immediate relief and immediate result tools, though they're crafted for you to also use them in the long term, more fundamental changes as well. So we've designed them very specifically and intentionally.
Excellent. Yeah, and I, to kind of reiterate that point, a lot of the stuff that we have planned is very simplistic and basic in the way that it can be executed by whoever's watching or listening, but with sustainability in mind. So we, in entry level, very introductory type of strategies that anyone, very accessible to anyone and very immediately effective. But we'll build off that with more intricate and kind of advanced strategies, techniques, ideas, concepts in the future. But one of the things that we're going to be promoting throughout is consistency too, right? So that's kind of a big overarching thing. It's, if the 5-minute stress relief tips, aren't going to be a one-off, you're going to have to be consistent with it. But once you understand what we're trying to have you use in your life, the consistency piece that we're going to be talking about and the habitual nature of a lot of these things and the rituals, that's going to be super important too, to have something that's more long lasting. So there's a lot of quick fixes out there and, just try this one thing and, you'll be set forever. We have, I think we got a great combination of things that can help immediately when you're really in that, stuck in that fight or flight, almost paralyzed state, or you're super overwhelmed or anxious or stressed out. But then we have more comprehensive, kind of long-term pattern changing ideas that we're going to be discussing and bringing to the table. And I think they're going to be very well received.
Absolutely. And you'll hear us talk about neuroplasticity and neural networks. And that is, to your point, showing you that we need to plant the seeds and have them grow, right? So that's the consistency part. We're not just having you do things a couple times and then say, well, it didn't work, right? And so we're here to support you through, if healing and growth is not necessarily linear. And so you said earlier, it's for the beginner, but it's also for someone that's been on this journey for a while, right? Because it can be a little bit of a roller coaster, right? And that's the joy of the fun of being a human. So we're here through all the cycle of it, right? Because there's going to be times where the growth is easy and smooth, and then there's going to be times where the terrain is a little bit rougher. But you're going to have us here, and we're going to be here weekly, providing a new episode each week. Again, with those tangible tools, but all building up for transformation. So you'll have the template. This is really key. You're going to have the template, so you'll know how to navigate your own mind, body, spirit, your one self. You'll know what you need to do. So you'll be able to cut and paste these different techniques and tools depending on what you need where you are. But you'll ultimately know what your transformational intentions, goals, and journey looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be with you every step of the way, from the 101s to the, like, for every topic, there are different levels of expertise. So with the mindfulness yoga, just off the cuff, even certain types of sleep strategies, some kind of eating, dieting, how the mind body connection to nurture that. There's very basic introductory, first time, kind of reassuring, those that are, just novices, but then there's so much more for those that are looking for more, and that are kind of have moved up and advanced higher up, on the pyramid, as you mentioned. So yeah, there's so much to be had, and it's kind of exciting for the future, right? You journey, right? Journey to your best self. It's kind of the unknown, but it's there's that fulfillment. You're always looking for more, and then there's more to be had. So I think it's pretty exciting, and then the possibilities, are endless. There's a lot. There's that I was thinking about, um the yoga episode that we have lined up is a good example of that, because there's some really basic introductory stuff, but then there's a lot of stuff that, um with the spiritual side, for those who want to dig deeper, and there's a lot of resources that we're going to provide, and a lot of things on youroneself.com and taraoneal.com that people can expand and expound, will expound on, and it'll fulfill, that are not just hearing or seeing about a topic for the first time. So we have a lot to offer for a lot of different type of people,
Absolutely. Yeah.
depending on where they are.
Absolutely. And because I do think that, while we have access to a lot of the ancient wisdom and the Eastern philosophies, it's
Mm,
still relatively new in the West, and it
mm,
can be a little bit elusive or misunderstood. And so I've had the fortune of, studying with some of the sages and the mystics in India and Thailand, and,
mm,
and, and actually submerge myself in some of these traditions. And so what I can bring is some actual firsthand experience that hasn't been diluted, or I don't want to say exploited because that sounds like a negative, maybe not intentionally, but I've actually spoken to them. I'm like, okay, how can I bring this back to the West, right? To people that didn't grow up, going to yoga in elementary school, right? That they don't
mm,
have any understanding of the way that you see the universe. And now we know through quantum physics, we're starting to emerge everything. And that's the beauty of it. There's so much good stuff for us to dig into. So while there is a lot of information out there, it can be
mm,
overwhelming. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the science of it, right? There's so much, people, the modern person doesn't have time to, read through the scientific journals, right? There's a lot of great literature out there, and research out there. And there's also a lot of ancient knowledge that is not well explained. And we're going to take them and we're going to bring that to you in a way that you can listen on your way to work, on a run, on a jog, and you can apply it to your life, to your family's life, to your friends. And yeah, we're here to serve you. It is our mission and our passion to help you. So we'd love your feedback. Please let us know what you'd like to hear, what you'd like to learn about. Let us know what you find valuable.
I couldn't say it better myself. So, even though you said that it is relatively new, a lot of these ideas and concepts in the West, the field genre, the category of wellness, there are definitely players out there. So what makes Journey to Your Best Self, Tara, in your opinion, what differentiates it from other wellness podcasts?
Yeah. So we're not necessarily giving you, for example, like when we talk about food, we're not going to be telling you what particular diet you should be doing. We're not going to be, telling you what you need to do in order to get, a certain result, right? While we're giving you a lot of this, we're giving it to empower you to learn about who you are specifically and your individual needs. So it is designed with you in mind. And so you know yourself better than any protocol or method does. And so again, having had my own struggle with modern of answers, and tried a lot of alternative methods and did a lot of research, and spent a lot of time digging in, like, what is the missing piece? How are we such an amazing country, and yet we have so many people that are sick, that are struggling, that are suffering? A lot of women were going through what I was going through, but they didn't have the opportunity that I did to go out and figure it out, right? So I want to share everything that I've learned. And if people can take it and use it, that's wonderful. I'd be thrilled if they could take it and transform it, and make it better, share it with the world. That's wonderful too. So really, I think that the difference is it's unique to my personal story, which a lot of people I think are going through in these times. Like I said, we're feeling conflicted, that it's like, well, I should be grateful I have all of these things, but why is there still something that's missing? Maybe it's your nervous system, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your thoughts, or whatever it might be. And it's not just women. Men are going through their own, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the differences. There's a lot of similarities too, right? And we're going to open up the conversation and make it safe, secure, and supportive to share your what's behind the curtain, right? What are some of your fears, your insecurities? And when we expose them and when we share them, we realize a lot of people have the same are in the same boat, right? And so through community, which is something we all could benefit from right now, we're going to be able to support you. So through this podcast, through the information, but also through our community.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's one of the things that we do have a couple of interviews lined up early on. And I think that one of the things that Andrew, a regular co-host and one of the oneself team members, loves to talk about is the need for a community. And he really does a great job of sharing his personal experience. That's what, I would like to do as well. Overcoming stress and overwhelm just in our daily lives, as fathers, as workers in the modern world, giving advice based on our personal experiences, our challenges that we faced, some successes that we've had. And I think why they're impactful is we have this wisdom that we've journeyed to find, you in particular, with the spiritual aspect of it, literally in the miles that you've traveled. But so we have that, and then our advice is still related to what listeners, viewers are going to be going through, because we're back here, in the same society that they're in as well. So I think it's going to be very relevant to a lot of people. One of the things that I'm also very excited about is later on in the first bunch of uploads and the season, if you would. Now that you got me, now you have me saying that. So I hope you're happy. We're going to have experts, mentors of yours, ours, thought leaders, just people that are climbing quickly up that pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy towards self-actualization, and to share their stories with you and with us. And that's going to be really exciting to get their perspective, get different perspectives and different experiences, and just different types of people and from all different walks of life, because that's a lot of times going to meet listeners where they might be coming from. So that's going to be a real exciting part of the episodes that we have lined up. Series of kind of featured episodes that I wanted to talk about that we have brewing is the Serenity sessions. Do you want to give a little sneak peek of what those are all about?
Yes. Yeah. One of my favorite things to do is guide people through meditations. And I've created a few, and there'll be many more 10-minute, maybe less sessions that people can listen to and follow along. So whether it's a boxed breathing or breath work, a body scan, a visual, several different types of meditations and different practices that can be done uh, anywhere, right? So that you can do it throughout your day at work. It can help with consistency, right? So sometimes it's actually overwhelming. There's a lot of apps, which is wonderful, a lot of meditation apps. But I personally, I suffer from getting overwhelmed when I see like, no, there's 8,000 meditations. It's like, where do I start, right? So we're gonna break down, the importance of it. Like we will keep saying, is more the consistency than the length or the we want it to be more of a practice than worrying about doing, like an hour meditation, once a week. It's going to be, I'd rather see people benefit from doing 10 minutes every single day. And so that's why we've designed them to be relatively short, but clear and simple and tangible. So yeah, very excited about releasing those. And the sky's the limit. We'll see. Like again, if viewers can request what they like, trying some different ones, and we're here to serve.
Yeah, absolutely. And if popular demands, there could be a series that the boys do with some exercise things we've been talking about, mind body connection stuff. Some visuals could help there, so maybe some recordings of those things as well. But yeah, the possibilities that it are open and listen. We're here to kind of connect and please with the greater your one self ecosystem. So suggestions will definitely be appreciated and listened to. Absolutely. I guess on that note, again, we have done the work, right? The curating those practices and searching to how to make them most effective. So it's just amazing to have only 10 minutes of your time and then, have that kind of assistance for something that you're going through. And I think that that's even better than a 90-minute podcast or you doing your own research online, trying to find out what the best thing is, reading a bunch of articles, watching a bunch of videos, when we have something that's tried and true for you that you could keep coming back to. It's going to be really beneficial to a lot of people. Anything else as far as just to kind of summarize what viewers, listeners, followers should be prepared for?
Yeah, I think it's important to remember to like wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And so this, there's a reason that we use the word journey, because it's a journey. It's not a destination. I remember you got me this one, actually, I have it right here. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain, right? And so we're not trying to get to, like, I know we use the Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a reference because I do think it's a helpful visual, but we're not trying to get to the top and stay there, right? We are already self-actualized. We're already enlightened. Like that is our birthright, right? So there's nowhere that we have to get, right? Like this is it. This is, the journey is the destination. And so whether you're at the bottom or the top, or like me, you shot up to the top and then had to go back down to the bottom and, redo it. And then, maybe I don't go as far down, but, so a lot of people will find themselves there too. Like, well, I don't understand. I was doing so well. And then all of a sudden, now I feel like I'm back to square one. And it's like, we're here to remind you that that's perfect. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. And so we don't want you to be hard on yourself if you feel like you're not a certain place, right? A lot of this work is self-acceptance, self-compassion, understanding for yourself. And in turn, then you're going to have a better perspective of the world. So we're so thrilled. We're so excited. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, listeners. I'm honored to be on this journey with you.
Thank you, Tara. So, yeah, that is our invitation. Please join us on this journey. Subscribe to Journey to Your Best Self. Add it to your podcast subscriptions on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overcast, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube. We're going to plan on having a bunch of shorts there as well to highlight some of the best moments, the magical moments in a lot of our episodes. We'll have the Serenity sessions up there. And then we'll, of course, always link to youroneself.com, taraoneal.com, where you can get a bunch of further resources, that coincide with episodes, further reading, different charts or, data kind of entry tools for you to kind of keep consistent and maintain what we're guiding you on for that particular episode. Did you want to leave us with a quote of the day, Miss O'Neill?
Yes. So we're going to do the Lao Tzu quote. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So a popular Chinese proverb, Lao Tzu, wisdom from beyond. Really, that's it. One step, and that's it. You can do it.
Yeah, the quote I was thinking was, journey of 1,000 episodes begins with a single episode.
That's
so
right.
This is episode 1. God willing, when we're gray and even more wizened, we'll be at 1,000 episodes, and hopefully you'll stick along with us for the ride. But that's it. Let's get started. You'll see episodes coming up at least once a week. There'll be a couple coming up soon. Until then, stay balanced, stay inspired, keep journeying to your best self, and peace, love, and self-discovery.